I'm very interested, especially right now with what's happening. We hear the fourth industrial revolution being in the news all the time. And now, what does that mean in terms of, as the first topic now is data privacy?
Yes, digital privacy is a very important topic and a conversation that needs to be had. And I feel like it becomes more and more critical pretty much with each passing day, with each interaction that you have online. And a lot of people, I wish I could, or I wasn't generalizing, or there was another way to without generalizing, but obviously we're all very connected. Either our laptops the whole day through work, and definitely our phones. We're all connected, and we open up websites, we read, and the simplest thing is like cookies. You all know this perfectly. Each and every website you go to, pretty much the first thing that always pops up before you do anything or interact with the website is the cookie policy.
What does that mean, and what does that actually talk to, the cookie policy?
So cookies on a very, very high level is it allows websites to track you, and I'll put the tracking in quotes. So essentially, it's just that now the first time I log into the website, it's obviously maybe I get to the website and I might enter my details or log in. And with cookies now, that website, or they know that I have visited their site through obviously my IP address and my device. So that next time I log onto their website, I just log in quicker and the experience is a bit more seamless. So that is on the highest level, pretty much what cookies do. So, and my thing around this is, so you get these options to accept the policy or not. And to be honest, I've never declined the policy, but it's like just one of those little things where you always accept. And I think just to tie it in with digital privacy a little bit is how in that policy, they could say that, because we never open it up to actually read, there could be a clause in there that says, no, we're actually going to track your information or whatever we gather from you while visiting our website, you consenting to us selling it. Or there's something else that needs to just be looked at and we need to be more cognizant of as people that visit websites.
You went into terms and conditions there, or, the small print, if I may. Now, changing small print as a digital company. Now, I mean, some companies, what they try and do is that they hide that change in policies by promoting an upgrade. The heading says, this is the upgrade button. Then the second last line says, we're going to sell your thing. Now, how do you go around? I mean, you can't be vigilant in terms of looking for these loopholes, but I mean, you can't read a 5-page.
It's never 5. It's never 5. But I think to tackle the question of how you get around that, in my experience, there isn't really a way to get around that. And outside of my experience, so I think there's this concept called the privacy paradox. And this is something I came across in my studies. And I think it's not, I think, something that is used day to day in like professional IT or information systems work and even like development. But the privacy paradox pretty much speaks to we need to give up something in order to get something. So if you think of all the apps, freeware, all these apps are free. And then now we talk about the phrase, if it's free, then you are the product. And now privacy paradox speaks to how I need to give up some of my privacy data in order to able to use these platforms and also to benefit from them. And thing like Google Maps, we need to give up our location data, for example, in order for Google Maps to accurately and efficiently provide their service. So this is just one example. Other things when you look at, and we've had this conversation before, but like apps. So let's say you're downloading Twitter, and if you look at the permissions that these apps require. So I understand in case of like Twitter, they can get access to my camera if I take pictures and upload them, Same thing, my gallery, if I want to upload pictures from my gallery to Twitter. But then there are things like, now suddenly if they want access to my phone book or my phone records. So it's like, why do you need access to that? And I stand corrected, but I think with the newer phones, you can individually within the app settings now or within the phone settings for that app is go switch off all of these functionalities. But like in the same side now, as an app developer, they could make these things mandatory. So it's either if you want to use the app, you need to agree to what everything that they want, or you just can't use the app. And this is pretty much the privacy paradox, is that I need to be willing to give up some of my private data, things like location, or give access to my phone book and all, in order for me to use the website or the platform. And like we just discovered, if you don't want to give up, then you can't access it. And then on the other end now, the way to get around this, or not to say the way to get around this, but an alternative now is if you use paid apps. They still collect your data, but not necessarily for the purposes of selling it for advertising to generate revenue for the developers or the owners of the app. Because obviously you are already providing a source of revenue either via a paid subscription or not. And then the free apps is that data is for marketing purposes. That gets sold off. That's where they make their money. So these are the two sides of the coin, if I may say, that when we look at now the privacy and we talk about the privacy paradox.
What are you really willing to pay for? Is it your privacy or cash?
So with that, I'll take your question as a statement as more being rhetorical, because we do get these options, or it is sort of a question like that. What are you willing to pay for, or are you willing to give up some of your data? But within that, it's not like you get a choice, really. Or the alternative choice isn't the lesser evil, per se. It's more so take it or leave it. Because if there isn't a paid alternative to there is no paid Twitter that we can get onto, for example, So, but if you want to be on that platform, these are the options you have. You can ask yourself all the questions. What am I willing to give up? Do I want them to have access to this and that? But ultimately, for you to get the best experience out of their platform, for the most part, you need to be willing to give up rights and access to them for them to access your data. So I'd say it's not like we have a choice. It's not like we have, it's more we get led into what the app developers and the companies that own these platforms want ultimately, and that is for eyes on their platform.